Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. It's time to let go of negative thinking, understand why you do what you do, and stop the self-sabotage with your host, Fran Excel.
Welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel, your resident subconscious success mentor, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. If you want to stop sabotaging your own success and let go of the stress, then you are in the right place, my friend. Make sure you download your free Stressed to Success guided meditation at bit.ly/stressed to success as my little gift to you for being here. Please do subscribe, share, review. It really, really helps people that need to hear this message find us, and I so appreciate it. In the show notes, you will also find details of how you can work with me and where you can get your mitts on my meditations, products, and printables. You can also find it through the link in my bio on Instagram, which is my second favorite place to hang out. So please do come join me over there at I'm Fran Excel. Tag me in your takeaways, slide into my DMs. I am here for it. So that is the formalities over, my love. So let's jump into the content. Just before I start, I have a little favor to ask so I can make sure that I'm creating what you guys really want and need from my content, services, and products. If you would love to help a gal out, I would be so grateful if you would take a couple of minutes to fill in a super quick couple of questions for me. The link is in the show notes and in the link in my bio on Instagram. That way, I'm not making any assumptions about what you want and need, and I can help you have the best year yet, whatever it throws at you, making sure that it's in line with absolutely what you need right now. So, what rules do you have for yourself that are holding you back? At this time of year, it is really easy to get sucked into doing things that you should be doing. Think resolutions, all the goals, stop drinking, eat healthy, etc. Or that you shouldn't be just because the date has changed. I have completely thrown the rule book out the window this year. So with this episode, I just wanted to help you become more aware of some of these rules that we have playing on in the background. What if this year we focus less on the have-tos and focus more on the how or who we want to be? The rule book has changed. 2020 was a shocker for many. 2021, we're still in kind of the same place right now. So why would we add extra pressure in a time when even the most resilient of us are starting to buckle? Yeah. How about we live this year with consciousness? Live this with how do you want to feel? Yeah. Rules are obviously the things that we blindly follow in life because there will be consequences if we don't. So there's the usual life rules, often with legalities attached, or that make sense or come from authority. Those aren't the rules I'm talking about here. I am talking about the internal rules that we take on from parents, friends, society, our experiences when we're young, and the ones that we just kind of create for ourselves, right? In our own noggins. So the things where we make up stories around them. If I do this, then that happens. Or if I don't do this, then that happens or won't happen. A pretty common one, as an example, is this idea that you have to hustle and work hard to be successful. But the thing is, there are so many nuances just to that statement alone. What even is hustling? How hard? What does that mean to hustle hard? What even is success? What measures either of these things? You know, these rules are the unconscious, usually unreasonably high standards that we set for ourselves and often other people. I do really have to watch myself with this and be super conscious because I like rules. I like order. I like control, and setting rules for ourselves is a way that we can achieve that. It's something that creates a sense of safety for me. My dad was a teacher and a housemaster in a private school, and my mum worked in schools too. So rules were kind of part of my makeup growing up. And rules can be a good thing if we allow ourselves to challenge them and be curious about whether they are true and whether they work for us or not. For example, one of my rules now, certainly wasn't to begin with, is I don't have to do things like everyone else to be successful. So you can see how that could be a good rule to live by, right? It gives me a lot of freedom. It allows me to act with integrity, with curiosity, and find the best route forward for me in line with my values, right? It allows me to be on Clubhouse and not get sucked in or worry about being left behind or what it means if I'm not showing up in every room. And if you're not sure what Clubhouse is yet, I'm quite glad because it's been crazy. But it's still a framework that I have for myself, right? But much more helpful than I have to do X, Y, and Z in my business because some guru told me it worked for them and was the only way to run a business. But without that consciousness and curiosity, these rules stop us living consciously, meaning our choice is taken away and we just kind of blindly follow. And they stop us from seeing the truth. They stop us from seeing a potential way forward that we might miss. They stop us seeing simple ways to be happier and live how we actually really want to. They limit us and give us a reason to beat ourselves up too. My husband is actually incredible at challenging these for me when they come up. It is infuriating at the time, yes, but it does always help me see a blind spot that can move me forwards. He's not always right, I might add. Sometimes I actually like the rule and I'll keep it, but I will also set some boundaries because instead of thinking he's being a pain in the butt and nitpicking and wanting me to do things his way, which by the way are his rules, yeah, see how it all clicks together, it helps me with the curiosity piece of the puzzle, the challenge the rule piece of the puzzle. Does it help me or hinder me? Our partners can be our biggest mirrors and triggers, and that can be really, really helpful if we let it. So here's a few of the rules that you might have to help you start to identify and challenge them for yourself. See, these are some of the most common ones that I'm seeing. So goals must be set in January. Resolutions. Why? Yes, it makes sense. I love goals. But this one suggests that if we don't start in January, you will have to wait until next year to do anything, which is bonkers, right? It's also one of the reasons that my gratitude journal, the link is in the show notes for this. It's available on Amazon now. It's 365 days of gratitude. Whoop, whoop. It's the reason it's dateless. And the Positive Pants Planner will be too when it comes out, hopefully around March, April time. You can decide on any day of the week, month, or year to make changes. This is not your rule. It's society. Yeah. The next one I want you to think about is the hours you work. When I went full-time in my business, I really, really noticed this rule. You start at 9 and you finish at 5:30. Why? What if you worked out what actually works for you and your life? Yeah. And then the next one that's kind of in the same vein is I have to work Monday to Friday. Again, who said? Isn't the whole point of having a business meaning that you set your own rules? But this is the point. You have to be conscious of the original rules to make the new ones, the ones that actually work for you. Next thing, if I'm not on the latest platform, I'll get left behind. Hello, Clubhouse again. Where is the evidence against that? You know, who do you see having a level of success that you want that's not doing all the things that you don't want to do? Yeah. If you're spending 8 hours a day on Clubhouse just because other people are, is that really going to move you forwards? Just think. Consciousness, curiosity. Next one is who I know and are friends with validates me. And I get this one. This is the bullied inner child that thinks that if we can just be accepted by the cool kid, then everything will be okay. And it's not true. And if it's not a genuine connection, it will feel empty. You'll have a level of anxiety running in the background that things could just come falling down at any point. So if you focused on real connection and support, real support, and you'll get there, you will, and you'll feel a lot happier along the way. Don't try and be friends with someone or be in the same space as someone if it's not from a genuine place. Hope that makes sense. Next one is I have to make 6 figures before I can feel successful. Who flippin' said? It's this random metric that someone plucked out of the sky and someone thought, oh yeah, that's good. And now it's become a thing, Right? It's simply not true. Your bank account and your income is not what validates you as a person. You choose what makes you feel like a good person, what makes you feel worthy. It's got nothing to do with how much you earn. Yeah? It's not a method of comparison between you and someone else of what makes someone happier, what makes someone a good person, and what makes someone more worthy. Please leave it at the door. Yeah? Next one, similar vein. I have to get 10,000 followers before I can feel successful. Same thing with your numbers of followers. Your followers are not what validates you as a person. It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't make you a better person. So think about the metrics that you're using and whether it's a rule that you've created or someone else has created, and if it serves you. The next one. Oh my goodness, I see this at the start of people building their businesses. I can't mistakes or fail. Can't make mistakes or fail. My darling, if this were true, no one would ever get anywhere. Failing and making mistakes is a huge part. It's a fundamental part, in my opinion, of success and growth. The next one is it's too late to start. This one kind of applies to thinking you're too old or too young, but it is never too late. You are never too old or too young to start anything. If it's calling you, it's meant for you. Let go of that rule. Yeah. I can't change my mind when I've already done so much work. You can always change your mind. It hasn't been a waste of time to get there, even if you realize it's not what you want. You needed all the lessons along the way. Next one, doing things because, well, it's how I've always done it. I can be so guilty of this one. And this is where my husband triggers me. He's like, why are you doing it that way? It's how I've always done it. It's how I learned to do it. But does that necessarily mean it's the best way to do it or the best way for you? Yeah. And I have to do the things the way the gurus say, even if they don't feel right. No, you don't. Follow people you trust and feel are authentic, because they will always tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and encourage you to do things your way. If anyone tells you their way is the only way and without it you'll fail, run. Run now. Been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings. Run, you fools. And the next one, you have to wait for things to be perfect before you press go. I mean, all I can really say about this is just no. Do the thing. There will never be a time that it's perfect. I've got tons of episodes on perfectionism and things like that, so go have a listen to those. Next one, you can't have a job and a business. I'd love to know who came up with this one. The idea that if you have a job, that means your business isn't successful. I kept my job for years because I wanted to. And it made sense for my life and my circumstances and what I wanted and where I was at. And I also know people who still had a job and a 7-figure business. If you want to keep your job, keep your job. Firstly, it's none of anyone else's beeswax. But again, who made up that rule? It's so weird. You get the best of both worlds. So challenge these things. The next thing, any rule, which is anything you're telling yourself you should do. Time to let that go. And also, a rule that says someone else's version of success has to be the same as yours, because it's not. Yeah, think cars, handbags, luxury, all those things that we see, the influencer lifestyle. You are the only person that can define what success means to you. It's about how you want to live your life and what's important to you. No one else gets to tell you what that is. And just because someone else is like, look at me and this is my metric of success and all of that, and if you don't have this, then you're not successful. Call BS on it. Yeah. What is success for you? I'm a country girl. I love living in the countryside. This quiet, peaceful life that I've got. I flipping love it. That may not work for someone who wants, the fast cars and the photos in front of the Eiffel Tower and the big travel. That's not me. I have my version of success. It may be different to yours. My guess is if you've been following me for a while, your version of success is closer to mine than that. And yet you can still, because of these rules, see those things and think, no, that's what I need to be aiming for. So just pick it apart a little bit. Be curious. There's a reason I'm always telling you guys to be curious. And another one, I should be married by X age, have kids by X age, own a house by X age. This is crazy talk. Who is dictating these rules? And it's all these rules that we make that create an identity for ourselves, and if we don't have these things and we haven't achieved them, then we're wrong in some way. Yeah. But the first key in all of this is to notice these rules. Notice where you're telling yourself what you can or can't do, say, think, be, have, all of these things. Where have you set a rule around this? Is it true? What if you didn't have it? Where did it come from? What did your parents or primary caregivers teach you growing up? Friends, teachers, all of these things. What rules do you have around success, money, relationships, what you can or can't, should or shouldn't do? What did you hear, see, model that has shaped how you do things today? Ask yourself, why do I think this? Where does this come from? Do I see anyone doing it differently and being where I want to be? And here's one for you. What if you broke your rule? Ooh, there's a thought. So, where are you following an out-of-date rule that wasn't yours in the first place or doesn't fit for the person you are now or the person you want to be? None of this stuff has any real meaning except the meaning that you give it. So what is true for you? Really, what I would love is to help you just be more conscious of these things. What if the focus for 2021, instead of all the pressure they need to do and achieve, we focus more on just really getting to know ourselves, really understanding why we do the things that we do or don't do. So let's just be a little more gentle with ourselves this year and know that we can do that and still achieve great things. So if you've got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and start changing things for yourself, then please do book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. If you want my eyes and ears on your problems, then I do work with people one-on-one and through the Proactive Pants program. You can find all the details to book in a call in the show notes, the link in my bio on Instagram and on my website, franexcel.com. So stop waiting for if and when and choose to change things now because you can. I am here to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. And as always, I hope you found this helpful. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.